Hey there, it's me again, Alonda, and it's me unscripted. I'm just sitting here talking to you. If you're looking for a creator that is young, long blonde hair, or brunette, whatever, everything looks great. Everything's aesthetically pleasing, and there's fancy jump cuts, and there's fanciness. That's not me, that's not this. So you can go. And the rest of you who want to stick around, please do. And I apologize that it's so dark, but the sun really hasn't come up, and um, the light that's in this room, the little chain thingy for ceiling fans and lights, when my husband was trying to turn it on the other day and it just broke off. So there's no light in here, and we're doing this anyway. What can I say? And you're seeing me without curlers on. I was going to sit here with curlers on again, but I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this style. Now, the hairstyle is inspired by the character Scarlett O'Hara, who was played by Vivian Leigh in the movie Gone with the Wind. Last night, I was watching me some YouTube, as I do when I, go lay down. And I was like, I wonder if anybody has done any tutorials on, Scarlett O'Hara. And I found some. Now, this is what cracked me up. Somebody said that the movie was black and white. Gone with the Wind was not black and white, and it's pretty darn easy to fact check that. So I found out, I was like, oh, you're very young and have never seen the movie, now have you? Well, Scarlett O'Hara, I love how she looks. Well, Vivian Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara, all the different looks in the movie, I just love. And Vivian Leigh, to me, is probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've always thought she was just beyond stunning. And Clark Gable, who played Rhett Butler, he always reminded me of my dad. I mean, my dad was very debonair, and Clark Gable, debonair, Rhett Butler, debonair. Got the debonair thing going. So anyway, I don't know if I nailed it or not. So let me know what you think. And I'm sorry that it's kind of weird lighting. And something else happened this week. I noticed, because I use Zoom as I'm recording, because I have found that, because I'm using a webcam right now, okay? Because that's what I got. This is the equipment I got. My phone, that's not going to work because there's not enough memory for as long as I yabber on and on when I make a video, especially over on my primary channel, the Recovering Hunbot. So that just ain't going to work. So I'm hopefully going to be able to look into getting a camera. There's one that I found that I'm like, okay, but I don't know about the memory of how long. There's just things I don't know. Anyway, Zoom has always worked in terms of the resolution looked the best, because I also can record myself, because I have two different video editors. Well, okay, Camtasia is not really a video editor. I use it for that. A lot of people use Camtasia to create online courses, and I'm an instructional designer. If you didn't know that, that means design and develop training. But I didn't get that to create online training. I got it because it's like, oh, I think I can, edit video from it, and that's how I'm going to use it. I also have Filmora, but I don't like the timeline on that one. And so, it's like I go back and forth between it. Camtasia, like I have a library of assets that I use regularly. Filmora, I don't have a library over there. So it's like if I could put everything together with both of them, it would be fantastic. But so far, no good. But anyway, when I recorded myself with Filmora or with Camtasia, it was like the resolution didn't look great. And there's not a lot of control in terms of what you can do to, modify the settings of color, saturation, and all of that. So that's not an option before you start, being a keyboard warrior and telling me how to do everything, because people love to tell creators exactly what to do, even though they haven't made a single video. Just saying. Anyway, that's not the point of this. I'm actually coming on here because I've been wanting to talk about this, and I haven't had time. I've been doing a lot of reaction videos over on my primary channel, and while it doesn't take, the research effort when I do deep dives and stuff, and when I start looking at the psychological components and how various tactics are used on people to get them to join MLMs, which is just like with cults too. It's not taking the brain power to do that, but there is a lot of editing. So I don't have to put in the time research, but I put in, time editing, cutting up everything. So sitting here just talking to you like this is easy because guess what? I'm not cutting anything out. This is a one take, one shot. And if I mess up, you'll know it. Anyway, and there's no script, hence Alonda Unscripted. So I've been wanting to talk about that movie on Netflix called Cuties. Have you heard of it? Now, originally, when I heard about it, I thought it was going to be one of those limited series. No, it was a movie. And, and I thought, well, maybe people are making much ado about nothing, because, people like to make a big stink out of stuff. People are just stink makers. You just like be up in arms and offended over anything and everything. Now, typically with myself, there's usually like 12 football fields between me and being offended. Unless people, leave these, because I get some really just hateful comments. I'm sure they're Huns, because that's what Huns like to do, is personally attack you. Your looks, the way you sound, your knowledge, just everything about you, they just attack. It's like, well, if you actually could add to the conversation and you have evidence to show that what I'm saying is wrong, please offer that up. You're not going to have it, but offer that up. But there's no way to combat really what we in the anti-MLM community say. So they just go for the personal attack. Anyhow, so I saw this trailer and I thought that it was going to be that series, but it wasn't. And so I'm like, okay, let me watch this, because I think the first person on YouTube I saw that created a video about the trailer was Ready to Glare, which I really do like her content. I like how kind of dry she is with everything. And I like that she brings up problematic things and talks about them, because, quite frankly, that's kind of what I'm doing over here. Just, things that are bothering me and things that have happened and stuff, which, update. I need to throw in this update of moving. I ordered, my husband, I had looked at it, but I ordered some patio furniture. See, look, it's one step at a time, because we have a little balcony, but right now I just have this armadillo, this metal armadillo that I have out there, and I paint rocks. I haven't done it in a long time because I don't have anywhere to do it. And I have my ladybug and frog out there too. I have another one that I need to fix the lily pad because the paint came off, and I have other rocks that I'm planning on painting, but I digress. And yeah, somebody's probably going to timestamp me like, oh, she didn't get into the content until, 10 minutes, 2 seconds, whatever. I don't care. I just don't care. Because I mean, you know what, quite frankly, anybody can like fast forward through shit, I mean, it's not that hard. Just saying. Oh, I did decide to go ahead and try YouTube Premium, because I watch so much YouTube. Now, over on my other channel, I mean, I've gotten some comments, and it was just like one person just went off like, there's too many ads on this. YouTube is now sticking in mid-rolls for videos that are 10 minutes, 8 minutes or longer on, monetized channels. And this isn't monetized, so you're not going to get any ads or anything. So, whatever. Anyway, so I decided to watch Cuties. Now, there was a scene. I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. And I don't remember the girl's background, but it's a Black girl that takes place in France, and she's a Muslim girl and lives with her family. I'm not sure where her dad is, but he's not there, but her mom and her brother. And she lives like in this apartment building, and she sees this girl using an iron to straighten out her hair. And I think that girl has Spanish heritage. Anyway, she's kind of like dancing. And when I looked at that, being in Texas, if you didn't know that, I'm in Texas, and having had many, many, many Hispanic friends, over the years, and have learned the bachata, cumbia, merengue, salsa, and danced all of that, and been to plenty of parties where all kinds of dancing is going on. And it really made me think of my friend Lewis, who's from Puerto Rico. Love him. He's such a sweetie pie. And I can remember his nieces, like dancing very, 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 very young. And those dances are provocative because you are really kind of, moving everything around. They're not sexual per se. They're just provocative, and because of the way of your hips, and they're fun. And I've danced with so many people, and when you're dancing it, I mean, it's like there's no meaning behind it, meaning nobody's like trying to, there's not that. I mean, maybe I guess if you go to a dance hall or something, I mean, that can always happen. But anyway, where I've been, no, you're just dancing and having fun, and that's it. And my friend Debbie is from Peru. And she and I mean, oh my gosh, when we'd get together when we were in college, we'd partner with each other and dance and just, have a good time. So at the beginning of this movie, when I saw this young girl, because they're like between like 11 and 14, I want to say, I was like, well, I understand that, it's like, I'm not offended by this. I'm not thinking this is going to attract people who are attracted to children. So I kept watching. And I will say that the overall writing of the story to me was less than stellar. I mean, it was just, I felt like there was a lot of holes. I was just really watching it to see, is it controversial like people? Yes, it is. It is. It's a coming of age movie, a very typical coming of age movie. But then they throw in this dancing thing. And now the young black girl I'm talking about, and I can't remember what the characters' names are, because it's like, okay, I'll be honest too. I fell asleep more than once. I've been known when I'm watching a movie or something to just like fall asleep, and then I have to rewatch a part of it. But I wasn't that interested in it to like rewind and go back and see what else is happening. But I saw enough to realize there's some issues with this. Do you do that? Do you fall asleep and stuff? It used to drive my husband crazy because he thought, oh, well, we're watching something together. And I just drift on off, I'm just all relaxed. And that's just what happens, it just happens. Anyway, so I kept watching the movie, and that young girl, the black girl, she steals a phone. And I keep going, how do you keep this thing charged? Because you don't have a charger, but you sure as heck seem to be looking at this all the time. And it looks like you're going on YouTube because you're looking at different dances and stuff. I don't understand. That makes no sense to me, how this phone is staying charged. So supposedly what I gathered, what she's doing is watching videos and then picking up the dance moves and like practicing them in the bathroom, because she has to like basically cover herself up. She can't wear little midriff tops, yada yada, what the other girls are doing. She's not like the other girls, literally. So she learns this stuff, and now this other group of girls that she wants to be a part of, I guess they're the Cuties, and they're kind of like a little girl gang, a little girl dance gang. And there are other little girl dance troupe gang things too. And there's some kind of dance competition coming up, which back in the day, I watched Dance Moms all the time, and I also watched Bring It. I loved watching Dance Moms because I love the choreography, and I have a background. I danced, and I competed in Scottish dancing. I did jazz, tap, ballet, everything, and through my early 20s. And so I always enjoyed that, the competition. So I always kind of look at any kind of dance, anything through the eyes of, okay, I have been a dancer. Let's see what's going on here. I can't imagine being a girl of that age and then showing these moves to my friends and having them choreograph it and, put these moves into some kind of like dance for us that we're going to do at a competition. One of the moves is, the girls are laying down on the ground and like humping the ground. And there's also these different like little zooms in on their bodies, which just made me very uncomfortable. If you want to go watch this movie, go ahead. I don't think you should, because it's not a good movie. And why are we highlighting children in a sexualized way? That's really what bothered me. It's like, over sexualizing young girls. I mean, shouldn't we not be doing that? And do we need a movie to tell us that we shouldn't be doing that? I think we've already known that, you know. I think we've learned, you know, let's not do that. That's not a good idea. Am I wrong? And then there's also scenes of them and they're like, you know, I mean, doing things when I looked at it, because I've seen like, I don't know, what is it? What's that? What is it? Coyote Ugly and different other movies of like striptease and you know different things where they're working at a strip joint where they're doing provocative grown women doing provocative dancing, and I'm watching these young girls and I'm like, you guys are pretty much doing exactly all of that, and that's a problem. You shouldn't be doing all that. Oh, and that's something else is they send that young girl into the boys' bathroom. I guess they're wanting to see his, you know, they're wanting to see things. And she doesn't get the video of it or anything. Because, you know, at that age, everything's kind of waking up, you know what I mean? And apparently, I guess I was asleep during this part, but I did hear that this young girl takes a shot of her hoo-hoo and you know you don't see her hoo-hoo, thank goodness, and then posts it online, which again it's like, why do we have a movie where this is happening? And then I think about the actors playing these girls and doing these movies. I mean, it's just it seems like it would be psychologically damaging. I mean, maybe I'm reaching on that, I don't know, but are they going to think that moving like this and behaving like this is okay? I don't know. To me, the whole thing just evokes more problems than anything else, you know, honestly. And that's about all I have to say about, you know, cuties and all that. You know, that's it. That is just it. I really would like to know your thoughts and opinions about it. If you've seen the trailer, if you've seen the movie, um, did you think, okay, you know what? There's really no big deal. Everybody's, you know, making a big fuss over nothing. Because I just don't think so, you know? I just don't think so. I mean, I'm all for there being conversations about things that are uncomfortable. But what I'm not for is showing us things that are inappropriate so that we talk about them. You know, if they were doing something, things can be done, you know, like, okay, Alfred Hitchcock was the master of suspense and the master of like having more going on here when you're watching one of his movies than showing you everything. Why couldn't the movie be written in such a way that you know what's going on, but you are not seeing it? I think just it being so in your face, that's what really bugged me, you know? That's what's really, really bugged me because it'd be one thing if, like, let's say the girl's watching, you know, provocative stuff on YouTube and you see that YouTube video, and then because of how they can film things, the girl's not actually watching it. It just looks as if she's watching it. And then you see her from the back of her head, like, you know, moving around, and that's it. You're not showing full frontal, you're not zooming into crotches, you're not doing any of that stuff because that's just gross. And we just don't need that. Who was it? There was someone who was just recently arrested um, because he's a star on Netflix, I think, because he propositioned young boys in a bathroom, but he did that when he was a teenager. I don't have the story all right. You know, I mean, you can look it up. You know how to use Google, right? Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know what you think. You know, do you think that I kind of did the Scarlett-y kind of look? I mean, granted, I'm wearing a t-shirt and all that. Oh, oh yeah, I did tell you that she thought it was black and white. I don't know what kind of lipstick she probably was wearing. A red lipstick, you know. I mean, because she was looking at a black and white photo of Scarlett O'Hara. Well, Vivian Leigh as Scarlett O'Hara. Why did she not know that that is a color movie? I think it was filmed in Technicolor. I've always been fascinated, especially with the burning of Atlanta, of how things were filmed for that movie. Because, I mean, it was made in the 30s, and it's just mesmerizing to me about how things were shot. The cinematography is phenomenal. No wonder it won Academy Awards, you know? Anyway, have an awesome day. Be safe out there and remember you're beautiful and I love you.